first year and a half, I made my first R1 million online. And then within year 2, that was 2 million over like 2 years, just from social media marketing.
This is Heavenly Doms, a South African entrepreneur helping people build global online incomes by working with international clients from home.
I mean, just in terms of monthly revenue, I eventually made anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000.
But things were not always so perfect as they seem now.
Actually, my upbringing, I've actually always lived like a life of lack, even just from when we were small, me and my siblings.
Life of lack?
Yeah, meaning there was not much money coming into the household. Towards it, I felt so behind. I mean, into my 20s, early 20s, I was working at a job that I hated. And I remember just at 23, that's where everything changed, because I just had a breakdown in my car.
Tell us a bit more about that car moment.
Like, that was the pinnacle moment for me. You have to get to the end of yourself in order to change the trajectory of your life. Like, you have to get to a point where you get to the end of yourself. And that was my moment where I got to the end of myself and I was like, I'm just done.
This episode isn't about how much money she made. It's about learning from her the exact steps you can take to start earning income online from where you are.
This podcast only grows if people who find value from it choose to support it. So if you feel like you're getting value from this podcast, please show your support by hitting the subscribe button. And let's go on this journey together of creating financial freedom. Subscribing really helps us to be able to grow and bring the best guests and best interviews that we know will bring value to you. All right, back to the episode.
So, Heavenly Dom.
Yes.
For those who don't know you, please just introduce us in your own special way and tell us what it is that you do.
Cool. So my name is Heavenly Doms. That Heavenly is my real name, by the way. Yes, everyone asks. So you want to ask for my ID to check if that's really my name. But no, Heavenly is my real name. I am from a small town in South Africa called Witbank. And basically I live now in Belgium, and a little bit about what I do is I started off back in 2021 on social media management. It's ventured into now a really big community education program in South Africa, where now I and my team teach other South Africans how to also make money online through social media management. So that's very briefly and condensed a little bit about me. So yeah.
Would you say that this is something that you dreamt of, that when I'm older, this is exactly what I want to do, or it's something that just came your way?
I feel like it came my way. I feel like it wasn't always the thing. I always knew I wanted to like have a platform and do something influential. I didn't quite know that it was going to take this path, but I'm very happy it did. And I feel like, I feel very like this is definitely my purpose, on par with like my purpose. So I feel very fulfilled with what I do.
Nice. So other people get involved in forex trading, drop shipping. Why social media management?
Social media management, I mean, social media in general, I feel like is so in demand right now because of just social media is the number one thing that businesses, I mean, as the biggest tool now. I mean, back in the day, it was like radio and TV commercials, and you still have that. But now, like, there's this thousands of people you can reach on social media, which is what's made services like social media management so in demand. Especially, I think the huge benefit of it, like specifically for actually South Africans, and what people are starting to catch on to more and more, is the fact that these American clients, these international clients, or European, American, whatever, have caught on to the fact that they can actually work with South Africans because of the currency conversion and get much more value for the money they're putting in. And so they love that because, I mean, every business has a marketing budget for social media. So back to your question, why social media? Social media is the main thing that's really pushing businesses. And I think now in the South African market, people are starting to catch on to the fact that South Africans can really make big money with this because of these international companies really catching on to the fact that, hey, we're winning, you're winning because of the currency. So.
And so you say South Africans in general, does it mean that anyone in general, or maybe someone who had got a degree in marketing or some social media diploma or something?
Anyone can do it. You don't need a degree for it. I don't have any degree behind my name. So it's literally just comes down to, obviously you have to learn skill. Obviously it's not like you can just, obviously you need to learn skill. There's so many online amazing coaches, online courses online that you can, especially now in South African spaces, people emerging. So anyone can do it, but you obviously do need to, have a certain training behind you to learn how to deliver the service. Because service delivery is is everything. One thing, getting a client is another thing, keeping them. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So for someone who's watching this and they're like, okay, social media sounds cool, but what exactly have you managed to do for yourself? Are you allowed, or are you open to sharing a bit about that?
Yeah. So in what specifically was social, just what it's done for my life, for you? Oh, it's done so much. Like, it's opened so many doors. I mean, I started off as social media manager just as a freelancer. And then I ventured into, I actually got so many clients eventually that I had to actually outsource, turn it into a business that I had just bigger capacity to take on and service all these clients. And it just turned it. I mean, I've made just so much money with just alone being a social media manager. Then turning it into a business took it to the next level because you have a higher capacity.
I think my audience wants to know how much is it?
I knew that was coming. I had a feeling that question was coming. But yeah, so okay, let's talk numbers. So basically, first year and a half, and I actually would record my money in my notes. So first year and a half, I made my first R1,000,000 online. So that's even my YouTube video that actually went viral because South Africans saw, oh wow, this is possible. Yeah. So the first year and a half, so approximately 14 months, I made my first R1,000,000. Obviously over 14 months. And then within year 2, that was 2 million over like 2 years, just from social media marketing, right? So just from social media management. So that was crazy. I mean, just in terms of monthly revenue, I eventually made anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. So that's about, if I'm calculating that correctly,
62.
yeah, like, isn't it like 88? I'm not sure. But if you convert it, it's around, 5K to 10K. I don't know. People have to convert at rands. Okay. But it's all the way up to, I think, anywhere from 80 to 200K a month in rands. So, I mean, that's the potential in social media management alone.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And we're saying that anyone could be able to do this.
Yes, with training. Like, you need to...
And you want to walk us through exactly like step by step what exactly you need to get into that. All right, cool. So if you want to know more about that, you just need to stick around and get into that part. But I'm also like interested in knowing like, okay, now you're making lots of money, but is this the type of person that you always were? Like someone who's you look like a goal-getter. When I watch your videos on YouTube, I'm like, damn, yeah, she's really going for it. Is this who you've always been, or?
Yeah, I've always been very ambitious. So I've always been like, you know what 50 Cent says, like, get rich or die trying. So I always live with try that. So I was like, I just have to try until something pops up. Because for me, my biggest fear is mediocrity. My biggest fear is living like a mediocre life.
Yeah.
Always said that, like, from small, I had very big dreams. So I think it's just always something that I kept with me, and I do believe that's also part of why I am where I am today. Is because there has always been this thing in me of like, listen, we're succeeding no matter what. So no matter what, because there are going to be setbacks. I think, and that's where I'm always very transparent. Like, it's not, yes, it sounds exciting, talking numbers is exciting, but there's a process that every successful person has had to go through, and no one is exempt from that. So but that being said, I think my ambition has always pushed me through those setbacks, and it always let me know, like, you know what, one day you just gotta push, and like 50 Cent base, get rich or die trying. So I have to die trying, but I'm gonna die trying, but at least I tried, you know.
What about like your background? Tell us a bit about that. Like some people will probably they say this about me. They look at me like with my YouTube setup and like the way I present my videos. They're like, no, but you are coming from money. They have no idea about my story, but they just make the assumption that you're coming from money. So is that like, tell us a bit about your upbringing.
I get that a lot. That, but you probably come from money. Yes, actually my upbringing, I've actually always lived like a life of lack, even just from when we were small, me and my siblings.
Life of lack.
Yeah, meaning there was not much money coming into the household. So even from young, I was always very used to actually never really having that much privilege. I even remember watching my cousins who are like around same age as me, getting cars on their 18th birthday, and being able to, like, their tertiary education is paid for, you know, they get to stay at res or a little apartment that, their parents would pay for. I didn't have that same privilege growing up. There was no money, especially from the age of 16. My mom stepped into a single mom role. So especially then it was very scarce. So honestly, from small, I remember even just small examples like my parents having to buy, you know, those little chocolate little cartons from the grocery store for if we wanted to go out and like just go to a restaurant, which is a once in a while occasion, because it was, yeah, like we had to make money stretch. So I remember as a kid that being very exciting, even just sitting at a restaurant. Now, for some people, that might sound small. Yeah, for us, those were big things. Not saying we were poor, but we were definitely not in a position where it was always like living paycheck to paycheck, having to make money stretch. So that's pretty much my background. I mean, ever since then, matriculating was the biggest stress of my life, because me and my mom were like, I remember us actually crying, and we were like thinking like, what the heck is going to happen? Like, it's just trust God, because honestly, there is nothing else. So that is the background. I definitely do not come from money.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. But now here you are, you seem to have figured things out for yourself.
Yes.
Would you say that your background contributed to helping you become the person that you are now?
100%. 100%. That's why I say to everyone, like, actually being in a position where you don't have much is actually the best thing for you, because that's the thing that pushed me. You know, when you don't have much, there's more of a grit of like, there's no other way. Like, I have to make something happen. And I remember with me and my sister, because she also does the online thing now, there was always a thing in us, like, we don't have any other choice. We have to make something happen, because we don't have a backup plan. We don't have something we can fall back on. We don't have our parents' money to fall back on. And that's no shade to people who do. I think that's amazing if you have that opportunity, but not everyone does. And I think a lot of people can feel like they're behind. And I think that's a common feeling of, yes, I felt so behind. And I think that was the thing that killed me the most, was I felt so behind. I mean, into my 20s, early 20s, I was working at a job that I hated. And I remember just at 23, that's where everything changed, because I just had a breakdown in my car that I could also barely afford. But I forced it, because I'm like, I have to have a car. With like the little bit of money I was getting, I was still living at home, of course. Yeah. And just remember, like, I just can't do this anymore. So yeah, I do believe that all of that pushed me to the life I'm living now, for sure.
Tell us a bit more about that car moment, like, what was running through your mind? Like,
that was honest. No, what I even explained to my students is that honesty was the moment that changed the trajectory of my life. Like,
quick pause. If you're listening to this podcast because you want to learn how to build your own online business for yourself, I've got a 5-day challenge where I show you how to create and sell digital products that can help you to finally have your own online business that generates you profit every single day. You don't need to have an audience. You don't have to experience tech overwhelm or stress, and you can eliminate guesswork, because I show you exactly what you need to do. Now, we run this 5-day challenge every single month, and by the end of this challenge, you will have something that you can sell online, and you'll know exactly how to get customers. Now, if that sounds like something that you want to build in 2026 or beyond, make sure you click the first link in the description of this video to find out more details and to secure your spot. We've managed to help over 300 people to successfully launch their businesses, and we only take 25 people at a time so that we can support everyone properly. So if you want to jump into this opportunity, make sure that you sign up today, or else you're going to have to wait until the next month for the next round to join. All right, let's get back to the episode.
Tell us a bit more about that car moment, like, what was running through your mind? Like,
that was honest. No, what I even explained to my students is that honesty was the moment that changed the trajectory of my life. Like, that was the pinnacle moment for me. You have to get to the end of yourself in order to change the trajectory of your life. Like, you have to get to a point where you get to the end of yourself. And that was my moment where I got to the end of myself and was like, I'm just done. Like, I'm honestly done. Cried out to God. I'm Christian, by the way, so I will mention God, here and there, because he is a big part of my story. But in that moment, I cried out to God. I'm like, I can't. Like, I honestly give up, because I can't keep on living a life where year after year, I mean, I always say to my free master classes, to people, like, New Year's was depressing for me. Festive season was depressing for me, because it would remind me of what still hasn't transpired in my life, And New Year often signifies a new year, but it would depress me, because I'm like, I know I'm stepping into this new year with, again, being in the same spot as I was last year. Yeah. So that moment in my car was a moment where I was like, I give up. And I honestly felt in that moment God just being like, well, good. I think sometimes you do need to give up on what you've been. I think give up on the bad habits, give up on everything that's not aligning with the life you want to step into. And I think I did realize that time in my car, there's a lot that I'm contributing to me not having success. And that was the thing that changed everything. Was after that, I was like, I'm done in my own might. And obviously with God moving forward, I'm going to just you have to align. And I think I felt like that's what got to me in that moment, is like, you have to align yourself to the lifestyle you want. If you're not that person, you can't get to that life. And that was the moment I'm like, I changed it.
You have to align yourself to the lifestyle that you want.
Yes.
Is it like what? Look rich if you want to become rich? How's that?
It's so much more than that. So it's so much more than just image. It's really about what is even down to your routine. Like if I can't even make my bed in the morning, but I want a $10 million empire, like make it make sense, right? So it's not pesos, but before
The debt is always
but people could think listening to this updating, what does that have to do with making money? It has everything to do with it. Okay. If I can't even control just the day-to-day things of getting myself to the gym or getting myself here, getting myself here, like how do I think I'm going to have the discipline to run a multi-million business, be a successful CEO? It just doesn't correlate. And you'll see with every successful person, there's a certain routine they have in place that drives those results in their lives. It's a law of attraction. At the end of the day, believe it or don't believe in it, at the end of the day, you're going to attract what you are. And so if who you are is I'm grooving every weekend, which nothing against it. I'm all for a good, time, like night out, nothing against it. But if that's your priority, if the priorities don't match up with what I'm trying to get out of life.
Yeah.
Guys, we're wasting that.
What about the element where you just mentioned that you're Christian? Mm-hmm. Let's go deep into that a bit. Yes. What about the side where people are so committed and believing that God is going to change their lives? Mm-hmm. So they spend most of their time in prayer, most of their time in church. Maybe just serving in the house. They're just doing everything all in the name of God. And they're expecting that one day I'm going to be a millionaire. God is going to give me my breakthrough. Is that how things work? Or
no? No, and that's what there's a lot to. Oh my God. That's such a big thing amongst Christians that needs to break also. Is this thing where I actually often say you can literally stand in the front of that church, be front line, be going up for prayer, have prophecies, do all of this, stand in faith. That was me. And nothing, you can pray until you're blue in the face, nothing's going to happen. Even God is about hard work. I mean, that's everywhere in the Bible. Work hard, don't be lazy, So if I'm praying and I'm in faith, but my everyday, faith without works is dead.
Yep.
So, and I think that's what people miss is they only read what they want to read. So they read the manifesting part of, I'm going to manifest by praying this, standing on faith. But then when I look at your life, like
there's no evidence of the
yeah, like you're binging Netflix, when you should be learning a skill, or you are spending all your money on booze on the weekend with that's money you can invest, or you are just in toxic environments where is the person that you look up to, would they be in that environment? And that's what you have to ask yourself. And I even teach my students, like, go to ChatGPT, all the tools we have today for free, right? Like describe the life you want and describe the most successful version of you. Like what does she or he wear? What does she look like or he look like? How do they spend their time? When they talk, how do they carry themselves? How do they walk into a room, right?
Yeah.
Then go to chat and be like, listen, like, does this person hang it out in these types of environments? The answer is no. What am I still doing there?
Yeah.
So there has to be a lifestyle change that takes place first before I can actually move into, because I can learn a skill. The thing is, I've seen a lot of people rise to success, lose it within a few months. Because, that even happened to me. Like I got money, like, I was then starting to make 50K a month, which for me was big because I came from only 7K a month. Lost every single client. Why? Because I wasn't yet the person I was supposed to be to handle that. So naturally, we're going to sabotage it. If I don't have the discipline or I don't have the time management, because that only gets learned through character development.
Yeah.
That's why I say, like, success on its own, like making the money is not hard. That's not the difficult part. That
making the money is not hard.
No, that comes down to learning a skill and then offering it as a service.
Yeah.
And the hard part is who you need to be in order to make that happen. So if I don't have the discipline to stick with it, give it enough time to work, it's not going to happen. So that's where you have to align yourself to where you want to be. So back to the church thing. Yeah, no, you standing in faith, praying, it's not going to do anything. It can't also not, like the Bible says, faith without works is dead. So there's no works, there's going to be no abundance.
Yeah. I guess that's where it comes, where people have this thing where they say, like, well, you're now starting to make progress. Mm-hmm. You've changed. We don't see you anymore. You don't hang around with us. You now think you are better than us. Mm-hmm. Has that happened to you?
Oh, yes. I've lost so many friends. So many.
So part of growing up means you got to lose some friends.
Yes, lonely at the top. They don't say that for no reason. It's
Damn lonely.
it's lonely. But you know what? It's lonely for a season. I feel like the higher you climb, you will start to align with people who are at your, you know? And that will happen, but you are going to have to be willing to go through a bit of an isolation season. It's like people do drop off, like, and not because they're necessarily bad people. Like the people that I've lost, I'm not even that they were bad people or they were this or that. It's just unfortunately I passed them the line anymore, and I could feel that because there's an animosity that grows unfortunately at people, and it was the people I didn't expect it from. So that's a hard part to success, is you are going to lose people naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, the company you keep is also like so vital to your growth.
Yeah.
So there is a season that you're going to walk alone, and it is going to feel lonely. I remember first making a lot of money and actually feeling the loneliest I've ever felt. But I changed my perspective. I feel that's a good thing. Everyone needs to go through that.
Yeah.
And from there, you will start to walk into rooms and connect with people that are, you know, at your, I don't want to say level, but I guess level. I guess as you level up, you will meet with people. You will attract people who are also leveling up.
Yeah,
So-
I honestly agree with that. Like, I've been doing YouTube for, I think, 6 years now. And the more I do it, the more I get a bit of success online. And the more people just don't understand, dude, you're always in your house, you're on your laptop, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then, like, when I go out and I meet up with my old friends, I realize there's nothing much that we have in
It
common.
was a disconnect. I think you've used common ground.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But luckily for me, I started this podcast and I'm now meeting amazing
Like
people
me.
who are kind of like me.
Yeah, it's not the amazing thing. It's like you do start to like then connect with people that are more on your wavelength. You know? So that's an awesome thing.
So I don't know if you want to start your own podcast or something, but
Ish, maybe you're inspiring me to start my own one. Who knows?
who knows?
Yeah.
There is something, I think, on your YouTube channel, you were telling a story and you mentioned that you were a singer
Yes.
and an actor.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that.
So that was actually the lifelong dream. That was the passion I always had.
I grew up, I want to be an actor.
Yeah, like I wanna be famous.
Who did you want to see? Like some famous person. Who comes to mind?
Hey, who comes to mind? I had a few, so I actually have to think about this one. I think it changed in seasons of life, but the one that comes to mind right now, Rihanna. I mean, she was like such a big global.
Why is it every girl wanted to be Rihanna?
And her like just has a few of those pop songs. I think I really wanted to be that type of superstar. Okay, making the hits and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think her, and a few others. I just can't think of them now, but a few others. Yeah, so I that was the passion since I was really little. But things changed, and I think they're allowed to change as you grow and develop. I think that was just not the path. Those were also the things I was trying.
Yeah.
And I have songs out, but it was just not the timing. I believe there's also a season to everything. I don't believe the season of music is necessarily done. I think also, and this is also the biggest thing, I think sometimes, and that's how I viewed it, is I wanted to make my passion my income. And that took a lot of joy out of it, and it also caused a lot of stress, and nothing ever happened. And I think sometimes as people, we need to see that separately. I think, and that's what also God that prompted me towards. It's like, okay, let's make the money off of something that just is going to make you money. Like social media is something right now that it's going to make you the money realistically. And when you have the money that you're making from an income stream that might not seem as fun as like your passion, like singing or acting or entertainment industry, that funds your passion. Right. So now I'm in a position where I can fund my passion. I can fund the studio sessions. I can fund the music video. I can fund all those things. It's not on the horizon yet, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think, that's where I changed my perspective on it. And I just went with where I felt part is leading me, and that was social media. So yeah, we are. But I do think that in the near future, there will be some studio sessions out ahead. Hopefully a movie in the future. I'd love to act like in a series or a movie. I'd love to. But
That would be nice.
God willing. So yeah.
I'm one of the first people to buy the
Yes. Be like, guys, Heavenly has on your podcast, Heavenly has a movie out. So remember, like, girl, the podcast 60.
This girl supports.
Yes.
100%. So, from what I'm hearing from you, so it means that sometimes God can put something inside of you, but then He says later.
For sure.
So, but don't you find yourself like arguing and like saying, "But God, I want this thing."
I did argue for the longest time. That's what kept me broke. So I did argue with Him for the longest time. I wanted what I wanted, and that's the very thing that kept me stuck. When I obeyed God, there was a sudden, just very, how can I say, suddenly things happened very suddenly, you know? And I'm not trying to paint it out to be, oh, it's a walk in the park, this online thing, or it's like, oh, it's just going to happen. No, obviously, give it a few months, like give it some time. But what I am saying is that when, in my case, he do it God's way and he was prompting me towards that, there is suddenlies that can now come your way because you're aligned with your path in life. Okay. So yeah, that's where I felt he is that being me to that in that season.
Okay. Yeah. So let's get into now social media marketing. What was the moment or the environment or event that made you say, you know what, there's something here, I think I need to look at this thing?
So actually how it came at path is my sister told me about it, and she's not allowed that I'm giving her credits. So she was so good. So she is 2 years younger than me. So she was in the same predicaments obviously as me. Okay. She was just the one who got fed up quicker because she hated Witbank, our hometown. And she was like, I just can't. Like I can't. We also lived in a house. We were like, well, the nicest house. She's like, I just feel so uninspired. Like, and she would tell her mom, like, I feel uninspired. I'm going to get us living on a tropical island. And so she was determined, because some of our family was living in Mauritius. So she's like, yeah, I have a way in. Yeah. So she was actually the one who then searched how to make money online. Because there was literally, when I tell you there was nothing else for us, I'm telling you there was nothing. So it was literally like, do you, babes? Because literally at this point, anything will suffice. So she searched that. At first, I was very skeptical, I won't lie. She went the graphic design route, so that's how I heard about social media management. She was like, hey, Winnie, did you know there's this thing called social media management? And this was about over 4 years ago now. So this was at a time when it was very unconventional. Okay, very unconventional. So we got a lot of remarks from like family and people close to us being like, what are these girls doing? But that's how I heard about it. Still was very skeptical. It took me actually a couple of months to actually dive in. I was still, busy fighting with God, pursuing music. So she was the one who went into it, and literally within like 6 months after, she did like a course, and I started hearing her hop on these calls with people from all over the world. Yeah, I'm hearing American accents. I'm like, we don't know any American.
Like, what are you doing?
What's going on? And that's what she told me about it. She told me about social media management because I didn't want to listen to her a few months prior. And she suddenly landed this really big client in the US. I think she was based in Houston, Texas. So she had a design agency and she sourced all her work to my sister. My sister was earning triple of what I was earning at my 7 to 3. Where she's at home, just working months free. I then feel so shit because she's in Delhi. But this is no way. I was so depressed. I remember us celebrating her. Yep. We went to cappuccinos, actually. Went to celebrate her I was trying to be happy for her, but low key, I was like, this is tap. But it gave me the motivation to be like, okay, I see this thing works. So I went next day. I went to Upwork. I went to start the social media management thing. I also did a masterclass on it. And that's how it came about. That's how I stumbled into it. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you heard about it from your sister? What was like the next step? She took a course. Did you also like take a course?
Well, yeah, I did. So I didn't walk into it blindly. I did at first. I think as people, we always try first, get anything free that we can get. So obviously I went to YouTube and I did the free thing and I tried it myself on Upwork because Upwork is a platform that I get clients on. Okay. Tried it because my sister told me about all these things. And I knew, and that was also something God like comforted me towards is like, listen, if you want to make it big in something, you have to be willing to lose money in order to gain money, right? Okay. And so that was a big thing where I also had to change my poverty mindset. I was very much had like a poverty mindset. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that comes with a poverty mindset is like, let me try and grab for straws, and I understand.
I don't want to pay you.
Yes, I want it for free. And there's also an entitlement and poverty mindset that I also had to get rid of is I'm not entitled to someone's information that they've spent years acquiring and getting it right in. And so luckily I changed that.
So I don't know if you experience this, like people watch my videos sometimes and then they're like, just get to the point. I see you're not like giving us the real stuff. You're not telling us the real evidence and whatever. And then I'm thinking like, I've got like 300 videos. Mm-hmm. And then this person is commenting on that one video where I said, hey guys, I made maybe 1 billion. And then I just show maybe a bit of my lifestyle and then I don't say much. Mm-hmm. But do you ever have these instances where people are just criticizing you and even sometimes saying you're just making your money from selling courses?
Oh, yeah, I hate my comments. My gosh. Get that all the time. It's probably the number one, I could call it a hate comment that I get. Yeah, I think, there's so much to unpack about that. But yes, I do get it. And it's something where I think also with this thing of they want you, the thing is people are drawn to numbers. So I also have a ton of other content about exactly what to do, but you don't want to see it.
They don't want to watch it.
No, because it entails work.
Exactly.
Well, when I'm talking numbers now, you're interested. But then you want to use that video to be like, oh, but you're not showing me, is it theirs? But where I am showing you, you're not engaged. I still make the videos, so for the people who are. But that's where people need to change that's actually the number one, them commenting that is the number one thing why it shows me why you are where you are.
Exactly.
It's that mindset. If you have to lose that mindset, because that's the mindset that if you're looking at that one video, you're not even doing it. They don't even do their research. They're not even looking at the other videos. That's a problem, because that shows me that is first of all not the grit to go and look at the other stuff, and also very quick to criticize. And it's all not always that I feel like, obviously these are not bad people. It's just people I think with a lot of fear in them to actually do this. And I think there's so many underlying things. So I try and see it that way and not get too annoyed. Now I'm being very nice with the things I actually want to say back, but I stop myself, because at the end of the day, I think it's just people say that stuff also and very quick to call something a scam, or very quick to try and call you out. I think that's because they see you doing something that they maybe in certain areas lack the courage right now to do, because they feel like, a lot of people, and I have it with my students coming in, they say like, I feel like I'm not good enough to ever succeed at this, so I feel like it's just not going to happen for me. I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs, and that's why I also try and remember with these people is that's where it's projection. But yeah, I do get it, and at the end of the day, it says more about them than it does about me, because I have the evidence. I even have, this is the crazy part, right? I even have videos where I'm actually breaking down. I don't know if you saw, but I'm so open about my income, down to the penny. Like I even have a whole YouTube video where I break down with receipts. Because I understand in the online space, of course you want to see credibility, and I get that, and I want to provide that.
Yeah.
So obviously, even me, if I'm going to look into a program, I'm going to do my research and look at just what are you achieving for other people?
Yeah.
Like what are your students doing? Let me see your receipts. So I do provide that, but it's crazy that I'll still get those comments, even though just 2 videos down, there was a video with the receipts,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, man. I think with some people, it's just like their default is going to the negative. So yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's the reason why a lot of them are where they are.
Yes.
Like, I don't remember who was saying this, that like, where you were born or where you're coming from, it's not your fault.
No.
But if you choose to stay there, that's 100% on you. And people mentally, they're just choosing to be stuck and to say that, no, this is impossible, or it only works for Americans.
Yeah.
But for yourself, did you ever have like limiting beliefs that you had to break, that after you broke them, it helped you to break them?
You know what? I'm going to be so real. I think I was so ambitious though, but I didn't. I think limiting beliefs, maybe the only one I had was feeling I actually struggled a lot with shyness. Believe it or not. It's not okay.
You're shy.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey.
I don't believe it.
No, I was. I struggled, but I actually believe that no one's born being shy. I believe you can be a quieter, more reserved, introverted person. That doesn't mean that you're not confident. That just means you're silent confidence, right? Yeah. Shyness comes from fear. Shyness comes from insecurity. So I do believe that no one has to be shy. I did struggle with shyness, but I broke that thing all my life because I was like, I can't go through life being shy all the time. So yes, my limiting belief when I was shy is like, I don't know though, but the thing is, this is a crazy part. Even though I had those insecurities or I had a huge lack of confidence, I think that was the thing that held me back. Limiting beliefs though, the crazy thing was, even in my lack of confidence, I always deep down believed I'm going to be very successful one day. Yeah. I don't know, there was always just this thing in me. So that's why I can't always relate to people who say they struggle to believe that. Yeah. If I'm very honest, it just was never a limited belief of mine. Which is funny because I was very insecure though. I did struggle with a severe lack of confidence. Yeah. But like deep down, I still believed that I remember at 16 because I was auditioning to be on the worship team. Okay. So I got up on stage and I ran off crying. I couldn't even get a word out. I had such stage fright. Even just speaking in public was hard, which is crazy because look at what I do now. I'm speaking to people all the time.
What made you break through that?
I think just putting myself in positions to where it was forced out of me. So I remember also doing like a gap year after matric. That was the only thing that opened up for me because I got a sponsor. Yeah. And I was forced out of my comfort zone. So I had to public speak and there was no other option. And I think my mom also played a big role in you're not going to stop. You're going to do this. Thing that helped me of like, but I also remember my uncle telling me, Heavenly, you look more stupid not doing it than actually just doing it, right?
Good advice.
Yes. So he's like, you actually look more silly.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, and I think that's somehow stuck with me. And I realized, thing is, here's also the thing. I wanted a lot for myself. Mm-hmm. And I also, like in the Bible, it says, for who asks much, much is required.
Yeah.
I realized that if your want for success has got to be stronger than your fear. And I think that what it was for me. My want for success was a lot bigger than me feeling shy in the moment. So I was like, babes, you're going to push through. You have to. And the only way is through action. The only way to get confidence is through action. So if I have to compliment a random person today, I'm going to do that. Like just little steps. You don't have to do the big things, but just little steps every day where you actually prove to yourself that, oh, I'm actually capable. And I think that's what clicked for me the one day. I was like speaking to these people because I had to greet people at church. And I remember there was like a survey. It's one of the things I was forced to do in that gap year program I was in. And something clicked after that in me. I'm like, oh, I would have never done this before. I had to though, so I just had to. And I realized how much more capable I am than what I thought. So to all my shy peeps,
you are more capable.
You are more capable than what you think. But you just have to put yourself in positions to prove that to yourself. And then from there, becomes second nature.
I think we can end the podcast right there because that's so inspirational. You heard it for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. We really need to put ourselves out there.
It's all about positioning.
Yes. I remember like, I think it was 2014, 15. I was watching some person on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I want to do this. Mm. But I just kept on having all the different excuses.
Yeah.
And then eventually I moved to Cape Town because I just had to get to a point where I was like, it's do or die. Mm. I need my life to change. So I moved to Cape Town and then things were not working out. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that came to my mind was like, I need to be accountable to someone. I didn't have someone. So I said, okay, why don't I start making videos so that I can be accountable to the internet?
Yeah.
And then that's when my YouTube journey started. Of course, I was not comfortable, but the fact that I took it. Now, YouTube sent me a message the other day saying it's been 6 years.
Wow.
That's and I'm shocked and I am so glad I did it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it is good. Yeah, it's literally just about just doing it. You're putting yourself out there.
Exactly. So let's talk about like steps. Mm-hmm. There's a South African, or maybe someone not even in South Africa, but since we mostly talk to South Africans, they're watching this podcast and they're like, I also want to get into social media marketing. What are the steps that they need to take or follow?
Yes, I would say first, don't think you can do it without some form of training. Mm-hmm. So I would say first and foremost, you do need to learn service deliveries. Like you need to learn, like when I get a client, how do I keep them? Like how do I run that service for them? Because that's what's going to ultimately keep your clients and just take it all the way to the top. So first and foremost is get a training. There's many great things online. Just to plug myself, I also have free master classes.
Plug yourself.
Education RYR. So so you have to just pick who you believe in to coach you, and then you just need to I always say to people, be willing to downgrade your life for a period of time in order to invest in a training that is going to actually bring you such a big return on investment, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing would be like, stick with it. Go like what we teach on is Upwork. It's typically on social media management called a lot of coaches teaches client acquisition on Upwork.
What's Upwork for someone who doesn't know what that is? Yeah,
so Upwork is basically like a platform where they connect business owners with freelancers. And it's become very popular because of the online space now. Yeah. And because of these services being so in demand. So it actually connects them. So I don't have to convince you that you need a social media manager. Like you already know that. Yeah. You're just looking for the best candidate, basically.
Also, I go there looking for the person. Yes. Then the platform connects me to the people.
Yeah, so there's a bunch. You're going to see like a bunch of job descriptions of these different clients pop up. You just apply to as many as possible. And that does come with a fee. But that's why I say to people, I did when I was broke, I just had to, even if you have as little as 120 Rand a month that you can put to this platform that's actually putting you in calls with people that you wouldn't otherwise have access to, that's already your return on investment for the 120 back. So you can't see it as lost money, even if you don't get a client within that first month. See it as one of your expenses. If you have to cut out your Netflix subscription, you have to cancel those Fushini accounts. If you have to, because a lot of South Africans love those clothing accounts. If you have to, you know what? If you have to cancel your gym subscription for 700 Rand a month and go right in the garden, like do it for a few months in order to put that money into something that's going to bring you further, that can get you 10 subscriptions tomorrow, 10 gym subscriptions tomorrow, you know, just downgrade your lifestyle in order to make it work with Upwork also specifically, because that is going to come at a bit of a cost. But like I said, if you had as little as 120 Rand a month, you can make it work and give it enough time to work. So I would say the biggest thing, training, downgrade your lifestyle by cutting something out to afford, you know, that platform in order to get the clients.
Yeah.
And then it's a matter of give it enough time to work. I feel like this is where most people stay stuck in a mediocre life. They do not give something enough time to work. When I sign up with the gym tomorrow, I understand that I'm not going to walk out here after 4 weeks having abs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to walk out here after 4 weeks having my dream physique that is realistically going to take, depending on where you're at, but 3 to 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And I understand that going, and why do you not understand that with online business?
I wish you could say it louder.
Louder for the people at the back. No, but seriously, guys, honestly, like, I cannot expect something that's going to change the trajectory of my life, that's going to happen in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a bit unrealistic, you know? And so I have to, with anything in life, anything, I mean, even university.
Yeah.
People pay thousands. They're not even guaranteed they're going to get a job with their degree.
Yeah.
Yet you are going into debt even to, you know, go to university. You understand there's a lot of degrees, it takes you 3 years approximately. You understand that's the process. I'm not going to go to the professor and be like, yeah, I've already been here for 2 months.
Where's my mind?
Where's my money? You know? So that's why it's crazy to me that in the online space, people are like, Heavenly or Marshall, where's my money? And it's been, a week?
I bought your course. I haven't made any money.
It's scamming.
2 weeks.
Nah, man. Nah. And lucky I don't get that anymore because they obviously see within my program so many South Africans that are getting the results. So luckily I don't have that. But this goes to the people who are not in the course and think everything's scary, whatever. This is to anyone. Like, it's going to take time. So give it enough time to work. Like, you've put in the work, you've invested in that program or that coach. You are now on Upwork. You're doing your part by downgrading your lifestyle. You're applying to these clients. Now have enough respect for yourself to give it enough time to work, to actually build a better life for yourself.
So true.
It's actually very simple. There's also not some magic. It's literally just stick with it. Stick with it. So
yeah. I like Khaled Shamos talks a lot about that, and I've forgotten how exactly he mentions it, but he talks about that, like, people will take forever to take that first step. And then finally, when they do take that first step, they don't give it enough room to actually get the progress. People look at people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, those rich people, and they're like, I want to be that guy. But they forget that those guys have been doing the same thing for how many years?
So many. With so many setbacks. That's why I always encourage with my students, like, go read success stories. Has there ever been a success story that you've read where it's been, within a week I was rich, or within 4 weeks or 3 months? No, there were setbacks. There were no's. There was actually so many things that have come against these people. But you know what the difference is between those people and someone sitting at home wishing that it was them, is that these people got up one day and just decided, I'm going to do it no matter what setback. And I even tell my students, like, whether it takes you a month, 3 months, 6 months, go a year to land that damn client, stick with it. Stick with it. Tie water. Yes.
Yeah. Because think about it, like, you're going to say, okay, nah, this is taking too long, and then focus on Netflix. Then now 1 year has passed and you're looking for the next big thing.
Yeah, no.
But if you had stuck into your life, would have changed.
Exactly. It's exactly that.
Are there any setbacks that you've gone through that really made you feel like, nah, maybe this is not it?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes. I had like fun, like so much panic, actually, even while I was building my social media agency, of like, am I crazy for doing? Like, what am I actually doing? Like, because of course there's going to be, those fears that come in your mind, especially when you're going the unconventional path, especially at the time I was doing it. A 9 to 5, that time felt very safe. You've obviously seen now in the world today, it's not that safe anymore. But yeah, of course, there were moments where I'm like, Heavenly, what the heck are you even doing? You know? Is this even going to take off for you? Like, am I wasting my time? Of course, you're going to have those. And I think also a lot of imposter syndrome, like, who am I to be doing this or whatever? So those are the setbacks. Oh, but real setbacks, though, have been clients saying no. I mean, at first, it took me 3 months to get my first clients. I mean, I applied and applied and applied, and there were so many no's, but I was just determined not to give up, you know? So yeah, of course, naturally, is going to be setbacks. I mean, there were clients that sometimes you deal with a difficult client. That's a setback. Am I going to make me throw in the towel and just give up? Nah, and that's where I feel like I need to get a bit stronger. Like, don't be weak, you know? Just stick with it. And I feel like when we can just strengthen our mindset, and that's why even in OIR, we focus so much on the mindset part, because I cannot, want to be the successful CEO, but I'm so weak that I can't even deal with a minor setback, and that's already inconveniencing me, and that's where I think also your mindset has to rise above that. So those are setbacks that I went through, but I think your ambition and your vision for the future has to just override that. Yeah. And it's all part of your story. I think that's always what I told myself for the setback is like, one day this is going to be part of my story. And that's why I actually wanted bigger setbacks, because I'm like, that I have a greater story to tell.
You want bigger problems?
Yeah, I want bigger problems. That's why I was so happy not so happy like it did sting, but when I lost every single client, because as I explained earlier, I was really bad at managing things because I wasn't yet who I needed to be to handle it. There was actually a huge part of me that was like, oh, I get to tell this one day. I lost everything. And people will be able to relate to that. So I was actually, that's what helped me through those times is like, this is going to be part of my success story one day that I get to inspire people with. I mean, how boring would it be if we had no setbacks in our story? Like, that would be really boring. So I think that's always, if you can carry that with you, that was helps. It does.
Then I saw somewhere where you mentioned that like you were working as a freelancer, and then eventually you saw a big opportunity being an agency owner.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so I started off a freelancer because I actually, again, now we're going to go back to poverty mindset, right? So this is so funny. So I was making now, a lot more money being a freelancer. And I knew like I wanted to outsource and turn it into a business. But here was this thing holding me back. And I worked day and night at this point because I was trying to manage 11 different clients all by myself. Like creating the content, setting up the content plans, the scheduling, I even did UGC for clients, like where I hopped on the camera. I'm still looking back, I don't know how I did it, but that's how I eventually lost all of them because again, poverty mindset came in, where it's like, yeah, but if I outsource and I pay a freelancer, then I want to hold on to that money, So, and I think because when you've gone in life a lot with having not much money, when you do have money, you try hold on to it so much, and I think that's where actually I became the stingiest when I had a lot of money at that point. That was the crazy part. I had to unlearn a lot, but that was basically, but that was the point where I lost everything. After that, I realized you've got to have to approach it differently. So I went back to the drawing board. Again, I was like, I realigned myself. And then when I got clients again, the first thing I did was outsource. Like I outsourced tasks. And it was shortly after that I actually landed my first $10,000 month. And I was like, okay. See, this is the rich mindset where you're like, outsourcing is actually not a cost. It's actually helping me grow. It's actually going to make me more money. So that was that transition from starting as a freelancer and then transitioning into a business owner, which I knew eventually was actually necessary because your business grows and there's more room to grow as a business owner. So that was kind of that transition move.
Would you say it's part of the thing that also helped you? So again, because I was researching you, that you're not staying in Europe, you're living in Europe.
Yes. You're asking if that helped me relocate to Europe?
Yes.
Yes, it did. Because then I was making the type of money that would sustain me in Europe. The cost of living there. It did. So that's when I decided, actually, a dream of mine was always to have a place of my own and to live my own independent life from when I was 18. And I saw all my peers do it and I felt so behind because I didn't have that. This was finally the time where I could do that. And I also decided, hell, why not move across the world, start a whole new life. I think that a whole new adventure. So yes, it definitely enabled me to live that European lifestyle. It was great for growth, but also just, it was like I think in a sense, like a pinch me moment of like, oh wow, like you're really doing it. And I think those were, I think those was one of those moments in my journey where it's like, damn, like you did that. So that was, it was because of the online business that came about. So because of social media management.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now obviously you're teaching it to other people.
Yeah.
Are there any like particular stories from your students that really stick out?
Yes, oh, so many. I have to try and think first. But I think the one that stands out probably the most, actually the other day, I had one of my students, Joanne, she reached out to me and she's like, Heavenly, I can't believe it, but counting up everything that I'm getting from clients so far, I'm making like 42,000 Rand a month already. Wow. And this is just in a few months, Wow. And this is coming from making zero, having no experience with social media management and just applying herself. And she was on every single mindset call that we had within our within the community. She applied herself. She changed her mindset, and that just goes to show how much can happen when you do that. So she's one of them. We also have had people quit their jobs, which have been amazing. Multiple people quit their jobs because they're doing this full time now. One of them is actually my cousin, who to this day, she gets to just work from home because she does this from home now. She got to quit the job that she hated. What's another one? I think just the other day we even had, her name's Akira. She was like, oh shit, I'm actually making like 30K extra every month just from social media management. Like it's just crazy what that can do. So, and our is very new. So my program is very new. I obviously believe they're going to do much more. But so far, what's really been so fulfilling is seeing my students make anywhere from 10 to 40,000 Rand just extra per month just from social media management. And I know next year this time I'm going to be able to say they're making like 200K a month, 100K a month. But for now, I mean, OIR, it turned one program. It's so crazy that in a year of having this education program for South Africans, already this has happened. People have quit their jobs, making up to 40K a month just from social media management. So that's been crazy. That if that's happened in a year, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next year, So those are some of those standout stories that have just been amazing. And I think just aside from that, they've said that it's not just the money that has been a huge game changer, also just who they've become has been huge, like in their confidence, in like, we have some crazy transformation stories where there's even some students who haven't yet made the money, but they're like, Heavenly, just the mindset has changed my entire life. Like even just in personal things, personal matters. So just all in all, it's complete transformation. That's why I always say we're not some generic like business training. It is just all around, like just complete reinvention, basically. Hence, Reinvent Your Reality is the name. But just completely reinventing yourself so that you can literally reinvent your entire reality. So that's been some standout ones, for sure.
Would you say there's a difference between the people who are getting great results and those who just maybe buy a course, whether it's your course or some other person's course, and then they don't get any results?
Yeah, for sure. Like I always say actually to people coming into the program, like there's two groups of people that enter this program or any program. It's the ones that they come in hyped, ready to go, they're excited. As soon as the work starts, they fall off the bandwagons. Because now it's not that exciting anymore, because there's work involved, which is not always going to be fun. And then you have the group of people that come in also hyped and excited, but realize that they're just going to have to stick with it, and they stick with it even, having to apply the work. And those are the people who win, is the ones who come into it committed to, this is the time that I'm really going to commit to this thing and see it all the way through. Those are the people that really win. And I've seen such a difference between the people also who come in and expect a get-rich-quick scheme, like expect some magical formula that's going to get them, 10K in their bank account next week. So there's been such a vast difference between them and like the students who understand that what I'm building here is for the future and that I'm willing for that to take a couple of months. But even the ones who come in initially because of wanting a get-rich scheme, even them, when they attend our sessions, they actually have really transformed their mindsets. So that's the great thing. But of course, there'll always be the people who just fall off, don't get results because it was them that we can, it's like that saying goes, I can lead a horse to the water. I can't force you to drink. I'll force it to drink the water. So it's really, I'm giving you everything you need to provide. The same students that have quit their jobs are getting the same that you're getting in terms of access to the coaches, access to the sessions, access to everything. What you do with that is up to you. And that's going to determine whether you're going to be successful and or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. And then, are there any particular mistakes that you see people making? Like, since you're mainly teaching people Upwork.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a big mistake is jumping straight ahead to Upwork without first putting the other things into place. Like, first get your service delivery systems in place. They jump straight to Upwork trying to get the clients. And this is another thing where it's again coming from a poverty mindset of I want to get to the money quick. And I understand because I understand that. But at the end of the day, that's where they sabotage themselves. This is where we talk about if there isn't that development within you, you're going to sabotage yourself, because then we actually once had a student who he landed, then suddenly 3 clients all at once comes through saying, oh, heavenly shit, now I have the plans, I don't know what to do. I'm like, yeah, well, I can't help you out, because you never, they could be taught you in the beginning. So see, that's where as a coach or as a mentor, I can't help you now. And I tell my students all the time, if you're not going to follow the natural progression of the course, I cannot save you and rescue you. And what ended up happening is he had to refund both of those clients.
Oh.
And the other one made such a bad name for himself. The other one also quit. So now, yes, you got the clients. You initially got that money into your bank account, and now watch it to refund it because you were too hasty. You were too desperate to get there. Instead, if he had actually applied himself properly, he could have built a really good name for himself. He could have had those clients, had all that money coming in, and he's done a great job. So that's probably the biggest mistake people make, is wanting to get quick to the results, not understanding that none is exempt from the process. It's going to come with the process. And if you try and avoid the process, you're always going to find yourself just going back to mediocrity, because it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, aside from social media marketing, do you feel like there's any opportunities that are out there for people that you think people should be jumping into this?
Yeah, there's so many. I think a big one, and we're actually expanding our next year, is personal branding. Making money through your Instagram. Not that Instagram pays you, but using that as your tool to get people to buy into you, actually getting paid to be you. So offering a digital product, or offering basically mostly the digital product side, or offering a digital service. And basically what you're monetizing is your skill set, or part of your story. I mean, there's so many people making so much money online because of actually helping and serving people in an area with what they've overcome, and either their story or a skill set that they have, and they package it into a digital product or into a digital service, basically an offer that you offer. And that's probably also one of the biggest things right now in the online space, is that right there.
Okay. Personal branding.
Personal branding.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's one question that people should be asking you that they're not?
That's a good one. One question they should be asking me that they're not. I think the biggest question people should be asking, which I basically don't get, is what is it going to require from me mindset-wise to really see this through to the end? Instead of asking me how long it's going to take to make me money, instead of that, be like, hey, I understand it's going to take some time, but do you have advice on how I can see it through so that I don't give up halfway? And I think that's the biggest question to ask. And when someone asks me a question along that line, I know you're going to be successful, because your mindset's already right, So I would say that's probably a question that barely anyone asks me. I maybe had one person ever ask me that. That's the question, yeah.
Okay. Let's just jump a couple of years into the future, maybe 15, no, more, to 100 years from now.
Yes.
And it's at your funeral, and people are just around you, and people are just saying some stuff about you. What do you wish or hope they would say?
Honestly, I would love for them to just remember me as someone who truly cared. Someone that was also just really real, and just really cared about other people's successes. Because I do truly, even just my students, I don't see them as numbers. I truly see them as human beings with their own future, their own purpose. So really for that to shine through, I would say just my passion for really helping others make the most out of their life. So I think being remembered for that would be pretty cool.
And then someone is watching this, they're in a state where they are down, things are not okay in their life. I'm going to give you an opportunity to preach.
Okay.
Because you've shown us that there's a woman of God in
Yes, there is.
I want you to look into the camera. I don't know which camera it is, but
Okay.
and talk to that person and whatever just comes into your heart to say to them.
Whatever comes into my heart?
Yes.
Okay. You're putting me on the spot, Shabba. Let's do it. Honestly, I think the number one thing I would tell you is to just do it. Like, just go for it. Trust God, surrender it to God. When God's on your path, there is so much that can come your way there's doors that can open for you. There's rooms that you can step into that never opened up for you before. So I would say, like, get out of this limiting belief. Now I'm really preaching because I'm going to even say the words, the enemy. The enemy is going to try and come against you.
Go for it.
And attack your mind into believing that you can't do it, or there's imposter syndrome, or just there's so many limiting beliefs that people believe that stay stuck in for years. And I just want to encourage you to step out of that. And often God extends an invitation to us to be like, even if you're watching this episode right now, that could be God's invitation to you to be like, hey, I want more for you. There is more for you. And I believe that you can reinvent and do the most, but you just have to put one foot in front of the other and take that first step. So I just want to say, take the first step, even if all you're seeing is, like, even if you can't see the full picture, God does, but you just need to take the first step. And just that's enough for God to really work with you and do the most in your life. So that's what I would say. That would do good.
You killed it. You killed it.
Should I maybe become a pastor, guys? Is that maybe my fault? Now I'm joking. I wouldn't want to be a pastor. But
I mean, if God says, "Oh, you feel
I
like,"
don't think that's his fault. I'm good with businesswoman, honestly. A faithful businesswoman. I'm good with that. So
nice.
cool.
And then for the people who maybe want to follow you and want to work with you as well.
Yes, so Heavenly Doms on all social platforms, mostly Instagram and YouTube. If you want to work with me, I have free masterclasses every other month. So just keep an eye out on my social media platforms. And then we also have RYR. So that's my mentorship program where we're helping South Africans achieve the most with social media management. And soon we're going to even be expanding into another area. And there's a link in my bio on Instagram. So there's a link in my bio. Go to the websites and you can enroll there. So
I'll put the link in the description of this video as well. Really
cool.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
I had a good time. Loved your story, and you should be inspired.
I hope so. Been great being here. So